Hi, good morning. Hey, today I woke up. It's early, around 4 in the morning. I have a few thoughts I've always wanted to share. Family, friends, whoever. Anyway, when I was like 20, I got a job in an emergency room, and I had a few experiences that really impacted me for a big part of my life. Probably the first one that comes to mind was one time I was in the ER and took care of this lady. And I was hooking her up to the cardiac monitor, and she says, I'm 65, retired 6 months ago. I was in Nevada and had my first heart attack then. And here I am, about a month later, and I'm having another heart attack. This lady, she wasn't really bad. I mean, she was talking, but she was having chest pain. Doctors were getting ready to come in. And she says, life goes by so quick. It really goes by too quick. You need to live your life. Well, I was young, but it impacted me. I really thought about that. For a long time, I always think about that. Life goes by so quick, we never know when or what. Anyway, another thought that I had, and ER is full of trauma. My God, yeah. For years, I rode a motorcycle. Started when I was 14, when I was a teenager I was around in my early 20s, and this young man came in, motorcycle accident, and we're doing CPR on him and everything, and the doctor said, stop. Just stopped it all of a sudden. The guy wasn't wearing a helmet, the young man wasn't wearing a helmet, and the doctor his hands were, his gloves had blood, and he said, his skull was cracked, and it was, sometimes when we work on people in the emergency room, it's just futile from the get-go. Those guys can tell. They hook them up to the monitors, they listen to their lungs, vital signs, and all that. Anyway, probably another one that I had was, I had a cousin. She grew up with cystic fibrosis. I remember her name was Peggy. Um, Everybody loved Peggy. Her dad was a comedian. She was fun-loving too. I remember one time I took Peggy for a ride on a motorcycle ride, and we were out in the grapevines riding around, and I was telling her, get some grapes, get some grapes. And she was grabbing grapes, and she was laughing, and I was making her laugh, and cystic fibrosis, they can't breathe, and she was laughing, she was coughing, she was getting, you stupid, you stupid. But anyway, I took care of a young girl one time. I mean, the team took care of a young girl, and looked just like Peggy, and she had cystic fibrosis. It wasn't Peggy. And I just remember, it's sometimes when we work in the emergency rooms, when you make this connection with somebody, like that motorcycle rider. I was a motorcycle rider. It really impacted me. It impacted me so much that, going back to the motorcycle rider, that I had a friend that had died in an accident when he was 17. Him and some other friends got hit by a train. And I remember that I never grieved. I never really grieved. So after that motorcycle accident, impacted me so deep that I went to the cemetery, pitch dark, it was like 12 at night, rode my motorcycle out there, walked around, saw some other friends that I had no idea that were buried, and found his grave, and I grieved. Grieving is a big part, you know. Sometimes we don't understand that, especially when we're young. We don't understand that. Grieving, we have to deal with our feelings, and feel the loss. Let it go. And going back with to the patient, the young girl, she was about 10 or 11 too, with cystic fibrosis. I always do my best to try to help people, but it was about taking care of people for me, period. And that was hard, but Peggy, she had cystic fibrosis. When she was around 12, Peggy got really sick, and she had like 2 heart attacks. She went blind, and she died. I know this is a really sad story, but this is the kind of stuff that some of us, it impacts our lives, and we carry it with us. And I remember I was in the nursing program when Peggy was going through her stuff, and I was in pediatrics, and anyway, I survived. I dealt with it, and the emergency room, it introduced me to a lot of pain and suffering, and people dealing with all kinds of problems, managing and going through it, on and on and on. The stories are endless, and it's part of me, part of what makes me who I am. And that may be why I also have a deeper appreciation and love for life and compassion for pain, suffering, for humanity, for what people go through, for the end of life, for why we should respect the sanctity of life, why quality of life is so important, and why every day is a victory and or should be celebrated, why life is precious and we should value it wholeheartedly, take care of it. Take care of it. Take care of it at the cellular level. Take care of our loved ones. Take care of ourselves. Take care of our precious breath. Take care of life. Namaste, George from California.